So the exam is on Wednesday, May the 1st from 6 to 8 p.m. So because after Monday the 29th, we switched to the exam schedule, and math has all day Wednesday. All right.
Hey, Mr. Carter.
Yes, what's up?
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you at first. What's on the agenda for today?
It's what's on the screen. Can you read that?
It's so tiny.
Well, it's just
A review?
review. We're all in review
Okay.
mode. We've got all the material. You got 2 tests coming up.
Okay.
Chapter 11 test is this coming Tuesday, and the exam is Wednesday, May the 1st. So that's what's on the agenda for any time we meet now. I'm not trying to be too formal because I want to find out what you're having issues with. So if somebody's got a question, I'll gladly entertain that. Otherwise, I got some stuff we can do. Can anybody read that? I mean, I've got 2 computers reading my own presentation, and they both look easy for a guy with old eyes to see. So,
Yeah, I can see it now. I had to switch the screen up.
okay, good. Yeah, that's one of the things about doing things electronically. You know, things don't always render the way you would like, so you got to make adjustments and all that. It's a crazy world when you get into technical stuff. So, anybody got anything in particular?
Can you review the graphs that you did Tuesday?
Which graphs are you talking about? I got one. When you talk about graphs, which specifically do you mean? Because
I can't think of the name of it right now. It was like when you
well,
said like shade to the left and then you
yeah, well, there was one problem like that with the shading. Let's see
okay,
if
well
I can
then
find
now
it. All right, because there's not really any. The graphing is early on. Would have been last week where we graphed the frequency, the graphed the histogram and the frequency plot. But let me get into Alex here and bring things up. So this is going on 20. And I'm going to bring back up that one that I had. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is probably what you're talking about here. This is the only one where we got a shade. But there might be one other graph one. I'll do that one. Look at that one next. All right.
okay.
So what's up?
I was just saying okay.
All right. So we've got says the standard normal curve is the graph below. That's what that blue thing is. They call it the standard normal curve. And that's what we're doing these calculations for throughout chapter 11. But this one is graphical because it wants to help you see what it is you're doing. And the key here is this right here. Z is equal to 150. Now, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. I don't think it's going to go bigger. Not really. It doesn't get any bigger even now. But anyway, along here, the bottom of this, you notice, okay, this is 0. See, this is 0 right here. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the left-hand side, you got -1, -2, -3, -4. So what we want to do is find out where this is at. Okay. So to do that, we're going to go to 1.5, halfway between 1 and 2. And then we grab this right here, the middle one, it says vertical segment. And then we're going to go to 1.5 and we're going to get our crosshairs on there and then we're going to click. All right. Now the next part is they want us to graph what's to the left. Okay. They set it up here too. So now we got two sides. We got this side over here. It's got the biggest part. And then we got this little part over here on this side. So which side is to the left? Is this the left or is this the left? Hey, you'd be surprised. I get it mixed up quite a bit. So you got to think about it. You got to double check. So on this side over here, that's to the left. That's less than, fewer than. And we're going to click and it shades for us. Now, the reason why the first part is graph that is because we want you to get us an idea of how much that is. That whole curve is 100%. So this right here looks like, maybe 3/4, somewhere in there, maybe less. So what we do is we can do it one of two ways. We can go to the table and you click on that little thing and you look for here your number. It's 1.5. Can y'all see that? That's why I don't like using the table.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, so I'm going to go down up here to where 1.5 is, and it's on the third row. And it's right there. So I could buy that's negative, that's 93%. Well, we do want to put the decimal value in, so we can copy that. That's what I like to do. And then you're just going to pop that in there. Now you can also use the calculator, and I think the calculator is on this. Alex is the best. The only thing it doesn't do is the fractions like your TI does, but I like this one. But you'll notice that here on this second row, it's right underneath recall. You go down 1, 2, 3, and you click that thing. It says P to the Z less than or equal to. Well, what you're going to put in there is your number right there, the 150. So I'm going to type in 1.50. And then, like with everything else on the calculators, we're going to hit equal. And you'll notice that this rounded off to 4 is the exact same value. See, that's a 0.9331, but the 1 gets rounded up to 2 because the number next to it is 9. All right. Sometimes you may have to round on the calculator, sometimes not, but the table will be accurate to 4 like they ask always. It's already rounded for you. Okay. Now, that's that one. I think maybe the other one you might be talking about. Any questions about this, that process? How did I get anything? Tonight's about you folks, so feel free to ask if there's something you don't understand. All right, let's see that other one that's got it looks like a graph at least. And it is a graph, it's just that we don't have to graph anything. There we go. So this right here is that same curve. It's just a specific one for specific data here. And these are scores on a standardized test. Were modeled using the normal distribution. In other words, it fits in that bell curve, and grades almost always fit in that curve. The mean of the distribution is 72.7, and the standard deviation is 5.4 points. So right here, they give us the mean. So you'll notice down here, they got 3 blanks. I'm telling you. So you got to trust me on this. That 72.7, if it's the mean, it's going to go on here. Where does it go? Does anybody know?
The middle.
Right in the middle. Great. That's the mean. It's also the median and the mode when the data is normally distributed. Then not if it's not, but everything as far as you're concerned, the mean, median, and the mode's right in the middle. All right, now here's another little piece of information. The standard deviation is 5.4 points. All right, so what that means then is every time we go one standard deviation, you remember there's 3 on one side and 3 on the other side for the most part. There's a little bit past that, but the first 3 is all the ones we're concerned about. So what I want to do is I'm going to take that 72.7. Well, first of all, I'm going to take the mean, I'm sorry, the standard deviation and put it in my memory here because I'm going to use it several times. And I'm going to take the mean. That's that middle point right there. So I'm starting right there, smack dab in the middle. And now I'm going to add 1 standard deviation to it. Well, I guess it didn't put it in there. Let me type it in. 5.4. And that gives us 78.1. 78.1 is probably about right in there. So that's 1. That's the boundary of our 68% on this side. And now we're going to add again a 5.4. And that's 83.5, which is going to be right about here. And that's the boundary of our 95. And let's add 1 more. That's only, you're never going to have to add more than 3. Plus another 5.4. And so 89.9, almost 89, and that's perfect. It's right butt up against 90. Now, let me ask the question here. Does anybody have an idea of how we get back and find out what this one is?
Just subtract.
Yeah, we're going to subtract. And if it's 3 standard deviations, we'll get to a number that's a little bit above 55, maybe 56 point something. So what we're going to do, we go back to my original idea and put that in the storage. I think I didn't take before. So 72.7. So I'm starting back here at the middle. And I'm going to minus the recall. And that would give us 67.3. So right about here, probably. So that's the mate to this one. And that inside is the 68%. All right. That's the 68%. That's 1 standard deviation. So there's 68%. Now, on this side, we had the, we're going to subtract 1 more. And that gives us the 61.9. So right about in here. And I'm just drawing this in here just to give you the perspective. Because this is just that empirical rule. All right. And so that's going to be the 95%. I didn't go far enough out. Look at what I did. Because I didn't have this line over here drawn well. So then this is going to be the 95 from there to there. Matter of fact, let me put it a little bit lower because I got to put 1 more So that's the right there. See? Bad drawing, but you're able to get the picture. You can go back and look for the empirical rule. Because I got a nice one in there. So this is the 95. %. And then all the way out to here, they already got this one drawn for us. Well, we're subtracting one more standard deviation. And that's the 56.5, and that looks perfect, right about where it is, because you got to basically see if it makes sense within the number line. And then up here, this one, this is the 99.7%. All right, so what we need to do next, and the last thing actually, is we need to go up here and state which one it is. Which one is it? It's not that one. It's not the middle one. It's the long one. The one all the way out to the dotted lines. So that's the two that have to do with graphs. And I'll just show you, so you know I'm not giving you anything that I made up on the spot. But over here, see, that's this thing here. That's what I was using. It's called the empirical rule. So since it's normally distributed data, then we know that these are the percentages that we can conclude depending on how many standard deviations we are from the mean. All right. Anybody got anything else or a question about this? All right.
No.
All right. I want to put something up here. All right. So just make sure you know about these dates and everything, because like I said, at the end of the semester, everything changes. You know, it's like no more classes. Then we go on exam schedule. And then I got deadlines. So please make sure that you know about these, because I'm not just at the regular schedule anymore. Tuesday, Thursdays are gone after the last day of class. And for us, the last day of class is like it's 1 week from today is our last day of class. And then the following week, Monday is the last day of class for Monday, Wednesday classes and Wednesday, Friday classes, because that's they had one more holiday than we did, so they go 1 day into the new week, and then after that, everything that after that is exam schedule. All right. So I got something I was going to give you to do. It's kind of related to this. It's actually from 11.1. See if I can put it up here. You gotta upload it. I got it as an image. All right, so this is problem I wanted to have you do. This takes some concentration. So what we want to do is count and find out how many of each of these. These are the classes I made. There's 8 different classes. So go through here and see if you can do this. I'm going to try finding something to do because there's a way to do a poll on here. But I'll give you a little while to do it, and then I'll come back through and
Is that 333 under your cursor or
8. And if you get it done, just make a noise of some type. You don't need to show it or anything because I'm going to try something with it. So the way I like to handle this is just to go through and the book shows you this too. I'm not sure if Alex does. but this is a good thing to do. Is we're going to go through and I'm going to take them out and I'm going to put a mark right there. So I'm just going through, and as I strike them out, I'm putting them over here in a tally. And so that way I know I've already counted them here and here.
Finished.
All right, good. So I'm just striking them out as I go, putting them in the right spot. It's easy to miss some, so you got to be careful. All right. So let me put a line up here. So right here, these are the classes. And then the tally technically isn't part of the frequency distribution. So after we actually convert it to actual numbers, then we can get rid of it. So let's say, so this right here is 5, 10, 15, and 2. 5, 6, 7. 4, and I mean 5 and 1 is 6. These are just 2. Both of these, and we got a 3. 1 and 2. All right, so now Let me pop a question on here. So what I'm going to do is let me put it back. It didn't run off. All right. So let's see if I can give you this question on the poll. I wanted to see how this works. I've never done it on.
I think you have an extra one under the 101 to 200. Because there's 39 elements. Am I counting that right?
Yes. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I put a 7. So yeah, it's a 6. Yeah, it's because it's 2 6s. All right. All right. So let's see if I can. Oh, great. Oh, I know what it is. See if I can do the poll from over here. Let's see. It won't let me do it from the other computer. Let's see if I can do it from here. All right. So you should see a poll come up and you can answer the question.
Six.
Well, there's a poll come up. Answer on the poll thing. Can you see it?
My bad. Oh, we could touch that. Okay, my bad.
All right. So I'm gonna leave it open for a few minutes. I don't know if people are answering it or not, but
I
if you
don't see
answered
it.
it,
Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
yeah. And I'm not sure where you will see it at. I mean, for me, I hit on polls and then it comes up in the menu, but yours menu is different because I'm like the super user. I'm the presenter. So I'll leave it up for a few minutes. So did anybody answer it yet?
Yeah, I did, but you can't see the other answers.
I did.
Okay. Because I have to end it before I can see the answers. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it so we can see. All right. So you should be able to see results somewhere. I don't know why I don't see them now. Can y'all see anything that says I'm sharing results?
Yeah, I
I
see
see
it.
it.
Where is it at? Is it on the screen or you
Yeah, it's on the screen.
I just don't see what the results are. Well, anyway, the final answer is 6. And why
Yeah,
is it 6?
80% said 6 and 20 said 2.
See that right there? It's 3, 4, 5, 6. And why those 3? Because it's greater than 500. Greater than 500. Ah, moved it again. Why does it keep moving it? So see, that's these right here. See, 500 is the bottom. We don't want 500 because it's greater than 500. So it's the 501 to 600, the 601 to 700, the 701 to 800. And then the 3 numbers are 3, 1, and 2, which is 6. All right, let me see if I can find something else interesting. I had the book open here a minute ago. I don't know why it doesn't let me. Well, I don't see the results. They're probably somewhere else. I just wanted to check it out and see how it worked. All right, so go back in here. So let's check out the book. Find a good mean median and mean median and mode problem. All right. So the instructions for these are find the mean, median, and the mode, which is all 3 of the ones. We're not doing the mid range. So we want to do that with this. All right. All right. Let's see. All right, let me see if I can get the little Alex calculator up here. The Alex calculator is great for doing these. All right, so we don't need that problem anymore, but we still want the little calculator. So in Alex, when you're working on a problem, you can they'll have a little tab that says send a calculator. And so that's a really good feature. That's why I like it better than TI. Because if you have to type into another calculator, oftentimes you got to worry about transcription mistakes. But with this, that's not the fact. But let's go ahead and just type all these in. Now, if you got that, like I said, it makes all this a breeze. Let me double check all this. So 80, 66, 80, 170, 123, 175, 221, 57, 109, 87. So if we add these up, we get 1168. And then if we divide by 10, the mean is 116.18. So okay. So that's the mean. And then you can just see what I did. Like I said, the little screen is not big enough. That's the one thing I wish this was resizable to make it a bigger calculator so you could see everything. But that's all the numbers in there. Add it up. You hit equal. So that's the sum of all the numbers. And then we're going to divide by 10. And that gives us the 116.8. All right, now let's go back to this. Oop. Now this is the way I handle it. If you do it in Alex, you can change the plus to a comma or a comma to a plus, and then that way you don't have to worry about whether you've got the right numbers or not. Because like I said, it copies them over for you. And then if I got the comma, which is what it puts in by default when you comp it, then you can click on the sort button. All right. Let me copy all these. I know it'll let me copy, or at least I'm hoping it will. Let's see. So I'm gonna put those right here. Let's put them up here. So 2 clicks looks like is what it gives it to you. If you just double click. All right. So here there, I don't know why it puts in that semicolon, but just imagine. Let's take them out. Because we're just really looking at the numbers. They're sorted. So how can we find the median? How can we find the median on this data?
Add the middle 2 and divide by 2.
Why the middle 2 though? I mean, can't we just find the median without having to make something up? Well, you're right, but I just wanted to find out why. Because
Oh, because it's an odd number? I mean, an even number?
yeah, all right. There's an even number. There's 10. They tell us that there. So there's not one middle number. So if there's not one middle number, then what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 middle ones, and we either know these are the 2 middle ones because you got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is no one middle number. So what we do is we take the 2 middle ones, 175 plus 123, and then we're going to do what we did for the mean. We're going to divide by 2. Well, in this case, we're dividing by 2. For the mean, we divide by all of them. But to get the median for this with even, we use the same procedure, which is the mean or the average, people call it. So 149. So that's right smack dab here. Median, midpoint, whatever you call it. It's the one smack dab in the middle of those 2. All right. What about our mode? Anybody remember the mode? What does the mode mean?
Most often.
Yeah. And I think this is the only one that repeats. Everything else is single. So the mode is $80. All right, we might have time more for one more kind of thing like this. I'm trying to do one where we kind of can go through it slowly. And the best thing probably to do the next one with is the, what do we call it? The standard deviation. Now for the standard deviation, we got to remember there's 2 formulas. All right, so let's find the all right, so I'll tell you what, let's go back up to the textbook part. And all right, so somewhere they give the formulas. Where are the formulas at? Not, I got them in my notes, but there's two standard deviations. You got to remember, there's one for the sample and one for the population. So here's the sample standard deviation. This book is not worth a flip. Let's just go over to my notes here. Okay, you got two standard deviations. You got the population standard deviation. In other words, you have all of the data. You're not guessing. Because if you don't know the entire population, which is quite often because the population can be rather large, then for a sample, it's slightly different. And the slight difference is really only this. This is just the name of it. That means sample standard deviation. And this right here refers to the population. That's sigma. And they use a different symbol for the mean, but it's the exact same calculation for the population and the sample. For the sample, they call it X bar. For the mean, they call it mu. All right. Now, over here in that textbook, there's an interesting problem. All right, where was it at? Oh no, I'm going to go into the back to the applications and find us a good one. All right. So for Alex, you got two. They'll tell you either it's sample standard deviation, and it might not be the same way every time. Sometimes they'll say find this the standard deviation for this sample, or say find the population standard deviation. So there's several different ways they could hand it to you, but you got to know. Now this right here is from the textbook. They require a little. This requires a little bit more thought. All right, we're just going to do the standard deviation. But which one in the world would we use? Okay. And I'm only going to do, let's just identify, and then we'll try to do one if we have enough time. All right. Is this a sample or is that a population? Doesn't quite say, but there's some giveaway into it, and I'll kind of tell you. What do you think that is, a sample or a population?
Sample, since it says the 5 largest.
All right. Now, a sample has to be randomly selected. So if they just go to the 5 largest and they're going to do all the ones that are in there, then this would actually be population. All right. But this is just for thinking. Now on here, 10 used trail bikes are randomly selected. Randomly selected. So there is the key that this is sample. Now,
Okay, so most of the time it will have randomly in there.
well, no, it's just that it could say sample. A sample is going to be randomly collected. But if it's all of the data, then that's a population. Sometimes they'll say sample, but in this case, it says randomly selected. All right, so that means that you use this one up here on that one. But for the top one, you want to use this one. Okay, so you're not going to divide by n minus 1, you're going to divide by n. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few minutes, see if you can work on it. Use that formula on it. And then I'm going to find a place to work because this kind of takes a little bit of building the chart thing. I don't like the way that Alex does it. So this is the one you're doing here. So this is the population one. Right there. So let me so I'm going to put the data over here. Again, they don't let you copy it. So I'm going to put it over here. Okay. So anyway, first, what do we need to do first for any standard deviation? The M word. We need the mean. This is a pain in the neck calculation. So what I'm doing is I'm going over stuff that's kind of tedious tonight for you, just to let you see more detail. So through 151, 259, 123, 75, 340. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 5. So 89.6. Let me know if you don't get that. I was kind of hoping that it would be a whole number because those take a little bit less time. All right, so let me go back and double check it just to make sure. So 340, 75, 123, 259, 151. So what I like to do with this is make a nice little chart. Alex does it horizontally, if you understand that. By all means, use it. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have each one of these numbers. All right. So then what goes here is X minus mean. All right. So I can use the calculator for this. We're cutting our time short. I might not be able to finish this one. No. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. All right, there. And now, so just using the calculator. So what I'm going to do is store that, and then I'm going to just subtract from each one real quick. 150.4. So this one's going to be a bit of a pain in the neck one. I probably should have got a simpler one, but they don't have in the book. They don't have a short one with simple numbers. So 75 minus the mean. So then I'm just going to try to type it in here. Negative 114.6. And then this one's going to be 123 minus the mean. So negative 66.6. And then it's 259 minus recall. So that's 64 or 69.4. And then the last one, 151 minus the mean gives us negative 38.6. Now, if you've done everything, we've done everything right up to that point, those will sum to 0. And now we square each one of these. So I'm going to square this one for, you got to watch that because it's always positive, because any number squared, 0.6, I'm just going quick. Oops. Okay, so that's I'm okay. Now I'm just going to go through now and just square all of them. So then this is 48, 16.36. Oops, what the hell? And then 66.6. 60, oops. So I'm gonna store that. I'm gonna, oh, this one didn't have a memory plus. I'll just come back and do it. 66.6. So that's so this is the we got one more to square and we'll be there. So it's 150.4. So 2. All right, so I'm going to come up and add this. This one doesn't have a good memory feature like the other calculators. So I'm just going to type them in real quick. Plus 13133.16. This one's a mess because it's got decimals, but it's hard to do away with them completely. Double check real quick. So there's our sum of that. So this is our sum. All right, so that's this part here. That's the numerator here. That's the numerator before we take the square root. Well, we're doing this one. We're doing the population. But so that's the numerator. And then we're dividing by n. And n is 5. All right. And then we take the square root. And I'm going to hand draw that. So I'm just going to take that and put it in the calculator. It's already in there. Thought it was. Divided by 5. Square root. What? What? Yeah, divided by 5. Square root. So 67. And I'm going to round it off to 2. That's generally what they do. All right, that brought us up to about time, but that's the most pain in the neck calculation. And of course, it looks longer because I'm presenting it and talking at the same time. It doesn't take that nearly that much time if you know how to do it. And the ones in ALEKS are easier. Generally, the textbook is it's got harder stuff. All right, well, I'll see you back in 15 or so minutes. We'll go through that the test 5 review.
So the 2 homework assignments are due tonight, right?
I don't know. When you say
okay.
due, all you got to do is look, because I don't make the
Okay.
due dates. ALEKS makes them depending on the tests and everything. So that's probably right. Why? Is there something wrong?
No.
Okay. Because
All
like I
right.
said, the way I do it with mine is I put in that calendar and say, look, it's best to try to do them within a couple of days of being presented in class. But that is the leeway that ALEKS gives you. It makes those dates based upon what we're covering in particular modules in regard to the test.
Okay.
So if there's any big issue, let me know.
All
Like I said, I just hate to do stuff on, if stuff is on the weekend, I hate to change it to that. But anyway, I'll see you back in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you.